I'm on the phone with Tomer Sharon, user experience researcher in search at Google. Tomer, good afternoon, your time, and thanks for agreeing to the call.
Thanks for having me.
You betcha. Today's topic is web professional trends for 2014, and I have a few questions for you.
Go right ahead.
What trends are you seeing?
So, as a user experience researcher, I must say that is working with a lot of startup founders. I must say that the trend that I see is that startup founders and startups in general will start doing their own user experience research. That's something that I can clearly see because they're now very interested in that.
So, yeah, and you've developed some fascinating resources, I have learned, to address some of these issues. Can you talk about that?
Yes, I actually want to talk about something that I haven't exposed publicly yet. I've been talking with a lot of startup founders in the last year or so, and my main interest was what are the questions that they're asking themselves that are relevant for user experience research. But I just asked them, what are the questions you're asking yourself? And the top questions that they were asking were actually excellent questions. For example, do people need my product? Who are my potential customers? Do people value what I'm offering? Is the product usable? Things like that. So almost all of them ask themselves these questions, which is great. The not so great part is how they answer the question. So what they mostly do, and this is really sad, I think, is that they just guess. They just trust their own intuition. And if they feel they want to do quote-unquote research, they ask their sister. And what I want to do is help them do a better job. They're halfway through. They have great questions. And what I want to do is help them get the job done by implementing user experience research technique to answer those questions in a valid and reliable way. And I can see that more and more startups now are beginning to understand that and want to do that.
Could you drill into some of the specifics of the offering, and then maybe we could link out if you could share with us where we'd go to get some more information about it as well?
Yeah, there's not much available now. I'm just as a pure researcher. I started with research without writing any nothing determined about I don't have any determined opinion about what should be done. But I do have one resource which is Lean UX Research, in one word, .launchrock.com. And this is where I try to learn about the interest in these topics. So leanuxresearch.launchrock.com. And if I want to talk a little bit about the specifics, let's take two research methods that are out there for many, many decades. One is usability testing. The other one is, let's call it field observation. It has many, many names, ethnography, just observation, whatever we call it is fine. So what usually happens is that startups and other organizations don't do any of these at all. If they do anything, they heard about usability testing. It's relatively easy. You just ask a bunch of people to complete a task with a prototype or with a product, with a web product, and you just shut up, watch what happens, and learn what's working well and not so well with your design. That's easy, and a lot of people do that, and that's great. But what if a company, a startup, is taking so many risks in developing a product that is beautiful, usable? They hired the best visual designers. They have a really beautiful web product. What if they're perfectly executing the wrong plan? What if nobody needs that beautiful product, that usable product? That's a huge risk that they're taking. And the other methods that people are, I don't know why, they try to avoid them. They try to think they're doing them, but they're not, are the field observation methods. So these are methods where you go and observe people in the natural context of using a product. So if it's something that is being used mostly at home, then you would go to people's homes and watch them, of course, with their permission, watch them do what the things that they do and learn just by watching and maybe asking a few questions. And these methods can tell you a lot about what needs to be done, what problems are out there for you to solve, real problems that people care about, not just problems you are experiencing as a startup founder and your sister is experiencing because she likes you and she wants you to succeed. And she says, yes, it's a great idea, I'll pay for it. You're watching real people experiencing real problems that they care about, and then you're in a better position to solve real problems for real people.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well said. That's insightful, Tomer. So, that lends a question that I've been curious about for a number of years as a researcher and somebody that's interested in this area. You mentioned that those that are interested in your product. So if you're going to sell a widget A, how important is it to have somebody that's interested in that widget A be your test person for reviewing the usability of that particular, be it a website for that product?
So that's a great question. Yeah, you want to add to it?
I'd give you an example, a real case in point.
Yeah.
Not to put anybody on the spot, but years ago, I invited the American Cancer Institute to a webprofessionals.org summit, and they were given a brilliant presentation on usability. And this was, back in the day, right? This was like 2000. And they had invested quite a bit of money to bring students in that were non-cancer related.
Yeah.
Just students, that were available.
Yeah.
And those students sat in front of the website and provided feedback on the usability. And it struck me then, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it today, how important is it to have somebody that actually is either afflicted by cancer or knows somebody that has cancer to review that particular website for its usability, if that makes sense.
So first of all, I want to say about UX researchers, usability people, if you ask for their opinion about something, let's say you ask 3 experts, you're going to get 5 answers, and they're going to beat the crap out of each other, arguing about what is the right answer. So I've been hearing 2 answers to this question. One is any research is better than no research. And the other answer, the more pure answer, would be you must have representative participants in your research for that to be valid and reliable. And I want to talk about both answers. So it's better to have no research or some research than no research. So this is for using students that have nothing to do with cancer to test cancer-related websites or services. So obviously, for anything cancer-related, they're not going to be a good indication of what's working well and not with these students. But there are many things that are not cancer-related. For example, talking about a website. So I don't know, I'll think about the stupidest example. Links, color of links. If the color of links is not blue, and if they're not underlined, it's going to be somewhat hard for people to understand these are links. This can happen to anyone, whether they are inflicted by cancer or not. So students can help with that. Now, if I talk about the other answer, that you must have your audience, there's a lot to say about that. I think that if you want data that is relevant, what if you're testing the cancer-related content? If it's good, if it's bad, if it's too long, if it's too short, only relevant people will know the answer to that. Only relevant people can give you true feedback about that. So it really depends on the domain and what you're testing. So if you want to test the site interaction and things like that, maybe students are fine. But if you're testing a very domain-specific thing, whatever the thing is, then you're going to need representative audiences. And today, with social media and so many options, and people are online, it's easy to find people that belong or are interested in any domain in either, I don't know, Facebook, Google Plus, Twitter, Pinterest. There are so many people who are talking about their interests in these domains. So you can find them there and recruit them for research.
Yeah, appreciate that insight, Tomer. Well, we certainly appreciate all that you do for and have done for the UX user experience community. Tomer, all the work at Google, your insights today, very excellent stuff, and most definitely for your time.
Thank you very much. It was fun.